Tim, you've been through this many times as a player, as a coach. What kind of emotions do you go through, does your team go through on opening night of the season?
What has been the atmosphere on campus this week?
Well, campus has just been completely abuzz. 4-0. That's pretty exciting for us students here.
Joining me now is an Indiana field hockey midfielder, defender, all of the above, who has a collection of NCAA and Big Ten honors, which she rightfully earned with her competitive scoring ability.
9-1, and many people have been comparing them to Coach Dunbar's 2010 Sweet 16 team. I asked Coach Dunbar if she saw similarities in the two teams, and she said she did in team chemistry and leadership. I was able to speak with Coach Green about what will likely be one of the most popular topics this 2015-2016 season, and that is the rule changes made in college basketball.
Like you said, that was your game plan, but how were the Hoosiers able to maintain so much possession throughout the game? Looking forward to this Sunday. It is senior night for you, and it's actually going to be the last time a Thompson plays on this field. So how is that going to feel for you and your family? I am with the Director of Athletic Performance for the Indiana men's basketball team, who is frequently seen on television. He's the face that all Hoosier fans love. He's always pumping up the team. Lionel, what did you think of that dunk contest, and especially jumping over Tom Crean? A lot of talk about rebranding of the defense. Can you talk about how spring, summer, and now fall has been going with your addition with Coach Allen?
You have a couple of guys like Jonathan Crawford, Chase Dutra, who really made a name for themselves as underclassmen in the program. How are you holding the newcomers to the standard?
Like you said, fifth year, you're not the only one with experience. There's a lot of experience here on the O-line this year. What does that do for you guys?
Like you said, there are some really incredible divers here today that have competed at an international level like you have. What is it like to compete against them in a high-pressure situation like this? It's a special season for all Indiana basketball fans as they are celebrating the 40th anniversary of the 1976 National Championship team. To make it special for the fans, IU Athletics mailed this replica keepsake banner of the 1976 team to all season ticket holders. Earlier before the match, she was presented the honorary game ball for her 3,000th career assist. And this year's tournament features 4 teams ranked in the top 25. Number 4, Notre Dame, number 15, Stanford, number 5, Indiana Hoosiers, and number 22, California Golden Bears. That's actually 3 of the past 4 NCAA national champions. Coach Clark, you just handed the defending national champs their first loss. How does that feel as a coach? Stanford's defense was tough today. How did you keep your players focused and move past that? Yesterday, I was able to talk to Coach Crean about managing minutes, which he said is a goal of his for this entire season. He said it is based on preventing injury on his team, but also mainly based on the freshman situation. This means getting the freshmen acquainted to the longest season of basketball they've ever played in their life and preventing them from hitting that wall that many freshman players do to mid to late February when high school season normally ends. Before today's game, you were out shooting your opponents 44-19. You finally have put one on the board in the first half. How are you going to build off that momentum? And your defensive side only allowing 2 shots from the Fighting Irish. How do you think your backline is performing today? This is actually the first time these two teams have ever met in program history. I talked to Coach Clark before the game about the rivalry between these top 2 elite schools, which is heavily emphasized in football, and I asked him why they had never played before. IU's Craig Didelo hit the ball deep into left field, actually out of the park, until UW's Josh Jayowook robbed Indiana of the home run. That play landed Jayowook on SportsCenter Top 10 plays.
The IU Auditorium is rich in history, the site of 13 Olympic trials in swimming, diving, and synchronized diving and swimming. And over 100 world records have been broken in this building. Jessica Prado also earned an individual spot on the platform. They will now compete on the world's biggest stage at the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. Indiana men's soccer remains unbeaten for the first time since 1997 with 5 wins and 4 draws. Nearly halfway through Big Ten play, the Hoosiers are ranked number 16 by Top Drawer Soccer in the nation. Last Friday, they posted their 4th straight shutout in a 0-0 draw against Rutgers. However, Kansas really isn't the only early test IU has. It has a very tough non-conference schedule this season, and with the departure of Yogi Ferrell and Troy Williams, Indiana needs a leader to step up right away. Ben, who do you think that leader is going to be? Men's golf is bringing home some hardware after the Northern Intercollegiate Tournament, which wrapped up Monday afternoon. The Hoosiers entered Monday in third place with a score of 598, just one shot behind Marquette. Coming up, we have a special guest joining us here on set. More from Indiana's field hockey star, Kate Barber. We'll be right back. And so you have actually started and played in every game since you came here as a Hoosier, 68 total. And this Friday, you will play your last home game as a Hoosier. So how is that going to feel for you? Field hockey is a predominantly East Coast sport here in the U.S., which is where most of your team is from. So what was it like playing here in St. Louis, close to Indiana? Andrew is one of 3 seniors representing men's golf. So to get started, let's talk about your last 3 years with the Hoosiers. And we were talking before the show started, and you told me that you have been golfing your whole life. You were raised in a golf family. Can you tell me about how you grew up as a golfer? Lily King came to IU with one goal in mind.
I remember a goal-setting meeting early on, and I was like, yeah, like I'll break the American record, but I'm planning on breaking 57, like down the road, like maybe junior year.
But it only took her one season to do so. King stunned the swimming world at her first NCAA appearance by shattering the current American record in the 50, 100, and 200 breaststroke.
It's been crazy, honestly. Like things have happened this year that like I would never have imagined.
During her freshman year, she became the NCAA champion in the 100 and 200 breaststroke, the CSCAA National Swimmer of the Year, unanimous Big Ten Swimmer of the Year, and established herself as the best SCY breaststroke swimmer in history.
Probably when I was younger, just I kind of wanted to do what my mom did, and I thought that was cool. But I didn't like really get into it till I was about 9 or 10, I guess I'd say. I ended up kind of moving up groups pretty early, and I didn't really make an interval on the set for about a year and a half, so that was kind of hard, but I still loved it the whole way, so I guess that was kind of the point where I realized it was my thing.
King comes from a sporting family. Her father, Mark, was a track and cross-country runner at Indiana State, and her mother, Jenny, swam for Eastern Kentucky University and Illinois State University. And her little brother, Alex, may have a walk-on position as a swimmer in his first year in college. Staying close to home, King began her collegiate career in her home state as a Hoosier.
And I was excited for my visit. I was like, this is one of my top schools, so I was excited when I came in, and I just really felt at home here, and I fell in love with the team. They were great. I really felt like part of the family early on, which was really nice. And then kind of realized I didn't want to go that far from home. So
in Evansville, King was limited on space, only able to get in about 5,000 yards of practice and limited weight training. So when she stepped foot into Councilman Billingsley Natatorium, it was her time to shine.
And I knew going into high school, she loves the work, so I knew when they were going to add more yardage and add the weights. I'm not at all surprised that she had this kind of year.
Baumeier said there are several key things that he believes drives King in and out of the water.
Work ethic, the desire to excel. She hates to lose.
Along with these motivators, as King trains for the 2016 Olympic trials, she reflects on a pivotal moment in her swimming career.
when I was 8, I went to a clinic in Mount Vernon actually, and Janet Evans was doing the clinic, and she just I don't know, something spoke to me at that when I was there, and I couldn't get up and down the pool, and I was a horrible swimmer at the point, but she told me that she wasn't the most talented swimmer, but she outworked everybody, and that really stuck with me. So that was kind of a major moment.
Just weeks before the Olympic trials, King is ranked second in the 50 and 100 breaststroke in the world. And although the 1 and 2 spots are nearly impossible to come by at trials, her supporters are confident in their 19-year-old breaststroke specialist.
Right now I'm just looking at it as any other meet. I think that's all I can do. It's my first trials, so obviously, it being trials, I'm going to be under a lot of pressure, but then also it being my first go-around with the meet is going to be, I think, pretty stressful for me, but, I'm just going to treat it like it's any other meet. I'm going to go out and perform my best.
For Hoosier Sports Report, this is the Road to Rio series. I'm Olivia Ray.